Wow, there was a lot of trailers this week, so I thought I'd just do a video talking about all the trailers this week. Um, there was the Fantastic Four trailer, Jurassic Park trailer, Smurfs trailer, and the Final Destination trailer. Um, I so let's start with the Final Destination one. I don't really have a lot to say about it. It looked cool. I haven't seen the Final Destination movies. Not that I don't want to. I plan to actually review them before this movie comes out. But there's not really anything for me to say because I haven't seen the other movies. It was a creepy scene. As someone who's already kind of scared to get a fucking tattoo, uh, not that I ever would anyway. It's not my style. Uh, Made it worse for me. I'm almost, and also the way this scene was shot was like, oh, they're showing this in IMAX. Maybe this is one horror movie I might do. Probably not. Especially since May's a really crowded month for movies that I gotta get tickets for. Um, it's not gonna be a thing where I go see this one IMAX. Maybe they did an IMAX early screening for this one, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I plan to reveal the Final Destination movies probably. Trying to think, do I do it after Lilo and Stitch or after the Jurassic Park movies? Probably after Lilo and Stitch because this one comes out in May and then Jurassic Park's July. So, anyways, I guess we'll start with Jurassic Park then. Jurassic Park. So this is a movie that's kind of weird, where basically, from what I understand, I think they got the original screenwriter wrote the original Jurassic Park, writing this one. They got Gareth Edwards, who is a great director. You know, he did Rogue One, which is not a great movie, but it's a beautifully shot movie. It has incredible cinematography. I feel like the two best directors to ever work on Star Wars movies have made made some of the most beautiful cinematography in a Star Wars movie, but made some of the lesser entries. Like Last Jedi was not good, but Ryan Johnson was a fucking great cinematographer when it came to down to some of the direction there. And then same thing with Rogue One with Gareth Edwards. But I really love his stuff, especially after the creator. Now he's working on this. And what I've been told about this movie is they're trying to bring it back to the basics. And the only way I got that vibe is they're going to an island. What do they think the basics of this franchise is? Like, the basics of this franchise in that original movie is great dialogue, great characters, and moments of them talking in rooms and having suspense, and then last act is dinosaur shit. That's not what I get from this trailer. Also, back to the basics of what? Like Spielberg's direction? This movie does not look like a Spielberg movie. It doesn't really even look like a Gareth Edwards movie. It just looks like another Jurassic World movie, which are movies I don't like. Now, saying all this movie's gonna make $1 billion. Comes out 4th of July weekend. I don't know a single person who liked the last Jurassic World movie, but yet it still made $1 billion. So, I think I actually reviewed that movie and said it was okay. I don't know what I was smoking because I no longer think that about the movie. I actually have not rewatched it since the theater, but the more I've sat with that movie, I'm like, shit, man, that was bad. I know there's an extended cut of that. I think when I review all the Jurassic Park movies, I'll probably watch the extended version and torture myself because bad movies that are longer do not get better. They get worse. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. I don't really know what they were doing with this trailer, but not happy with it. And then Smurfs, and before we get into the big one in a minute, Smurfs, to be honest, I didn't really have high expectations for this because, first of all, I think Smurfs is just an 80s thing that you cannot recreate again. It really isn't. Same thing with Alvin and the Chipmunks. I know they've tried to do these movies, but they actually kind of worked with Alvin and the Chipmunks. Not that those were good movies, but, you know, they made 4 of them. It kind of worked. But with Smurfs, it really didn't. I mean, they had one failed movie franchise. It's, you know, got a sequel, but second one didn't do so great, and then the Lost Village or whatever was just kind of there, came and went. No one talks about it. Wasn't really good. That's a movie. It was just so boring to me. So I think Smurfs is just one of those things where I think its best iteration is in the comics, and then if you try to do anything outside of that, it's just like you guys can't do that. It's in the '80s, and that's just where it belongs. I think it was Serial Midnight, that channel I follow on YouTube. He said everything has a lifespan, and I kind of do feel that with Smurfs. Like its lifespan is gone. With that being said, I was still curious to see this movie. I mean, I thought at least would have pretty animation. Wasn't really sure what they were going to go for with this one. And I also, another thing that really didn't excite me is Rihanna doing the voice of Smurfette, which didn't really mean much. Katy Perry did the voice of Smurfette in the live action ones. I don't really care. But to me, I was like, okay, why is she... Rihanna's not a good actress or a good voice actress. She's good in, zero movies. She was in a DreamWorks movie, Home. Worst part about that movie. And so, yeah, I'm even at the end of this trailer, like, hey, go pre-order her fucking soundtrack. And you're like, fuck that. So, I don't know what this movie's going to be. Going into this trailer, but I thought it would at least have pretty animation. Honestly, I think the animation looks terrible. It's very weird because this is like kind of going similar to the Smurf the Lost Village style, but also not. The way they animate is really bizarre. It feels very cheap, and like they're trying to be stylistic, but it's not really stylistic. It actually just looks straight up bad. And now they're going to the human world again, but with animated characters walking around. I'm just confused about what is even happening. And if you were going to do the live action route with the Smurfs again, have them actually deal with real humans in a magical kingdom, which is something they did in the comics and in the cartoon in the 80s. What are you even doing? Like, I see this movie actually flopping. I think that, between Fantastic Four, Jurassic Park, and a few other things coming out that month, like, that summer is crowded, and I just don't see room for a fucking Smurfs movie doing well, especially one that looks this bad and confusing. Like, I don't think this actually looks appealing to a kid. I think it just looks confusing to kids, honestly. And I think adults are just watching this going, what? And then it does that thing that I hate that modern, like, kids movies do, where they, like, put fake swears in the movie, but it's, like, so blatant enough that it's not even, like, a fake swear. You might as well just say fuck in the trailer of a kids movie, which I don't want them to do, obviously, but, like, if you're gonna, like, I'm gonna put that Smurf right in your Smurf or some shit. I'm like, that's not, like, a clever adult joke. That's just you, like, replacing a swear word with the word Smurf. And it's just like, okay, it's not even fucking funny. So, yeah, fucking awful trailer. This is the worst trailer out of all these. This movie is probably going to be my Garfield of the year. If you don't know, Garfield, I think, ended up on my worst of the year list. It was a movie that I sat in the theater and just actual pain watching that shit, and this will probably be another one of those. It just... What the fuck? Yeah, so next trailer is Fantastic Four. I want to save this one for last. I don't think this trailer was as good as it needed to be. Fantastic Four is a franchise that has failed up until now. I mean, they tried to get a movie off the ground with Roger Corman back in the 80s or 90s or whatever. That movie has a whole disaster production story. And then they did the first couple movies with Fox back in the day, which the first one's actually kind of all right. It's a flawed movie. It's not a great movie, but kind of for the time, it wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. Actually, the second one is really bad, and then you get to 2015 Fantastic Four. It's awful. So they do have to do a lot to really establish this, and I felt like this needed to be that Superman trailer where it just blew people away, and it's like, holy shit, wow, this looks incredible. But this trailer didn't do that, and I think that was kind of a big misfire with this one. It's not that it's a bad trailer, it's hard to explain why it didn't really pop. I have noticed this has become the most viewed MCU trailer, at least in the first couple days, which says a lot how much people are really excited about this. And I think this movie is going to cut into Superman's box office because of that. And Superman needs to be moved around. I think if they're smart, they might move it to August, which I don't want. I really love that. I really love Superman, and I think that movie needs to come out. But a week apart, guys, Fantastic Four is going to do so much better. Even though I think it's kind of the lesser of the MCU movies, though I do really like how stylistic this is. Of course, this movie's set in the 60s. You feel that vibe in there. A lot of cool shots and unique things they're doing with the direction. Like, I noticed burn marks on the camera lenses when Human Torch light up in the trailer. Very fucking cool shit. So, it's clearly a vibe, and I'm really liking it. What I do actually also like is Galactus showing up in the movie and being their villain. You know what I think? I've heard this fan theory, and I think this is a good idea. I've heard the fan theory that in this movie, Galactus, they fight Galactus in this movie and they fucking lose. And that's how they end up in the mainline MCU. And in the next phase, it'll be building up to a rematch with the Fantastic Four and the Avengers taking down Galactus. Which sounds awesome. If that's where the way they're going with this, fuck yeah. I don't know if it is, but yeah, this movie looks cool. Practical effects with the thing are cool. I just think that I'm a little like, I think this trailer needed to do a lot more to sell people, but yet somehow maybe it worked. Maybe it didn't. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, it's a Marvel movie. It will do well. Captain America, I think, is the one that's going to probably struggle out of the 3 MCU movies this year. Maybe Thunderbolts, honestly. I don't know. Thunderbolts, I feel like might surprise people. That movie looks fucking cool. I wish they had gone the rated R route with that one, but whatever.